Hello, welcome you to watching the news broadcast daily. And now today's headlines.
Prime Minister Win Tanzung meets Russian President Vladimir Putin. APEC selects Da Nang to implement low-carbon model. Scorching sun disrupts Hanoians' lives.
Prime Minister Win Tanzung met with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Sochi on May 15. The same day, he left the Russian city for Belarus, concluding his official visit to Russia at the invitation of his counterpart, Dmitry Medvedev. During his meeting with President Putin, the two sides agreed to enhance relations of high trustworthiness through the exchange of delegations, especially those at the highest level. Zung highly valued Russian affirmation in its new foreign policy concept toward Vietnam as a prioritized partner in the region. He said Russia is Vietnam's important partner. The Prime Minister informed President Putin of the East Sea situation and pledged to create all possible favorable conditions for Russian oil and gas companies to expand operations in the continental shelf and offshore Vietnam. President Putin said Russia attaches much importance to the maintenance of peace and stability in the East Sea and hopes relevant parties settle the East Sea disputes on the basis of international law. Zung and Putin said energy cooperation is one of top priorities between the two nations. They vowed to closely work on building the Ninh Thuận 1 nuclear power plant as scheduled. The two sides committed to gradually strengthening the military technology cooperation in a comprehensive manner, especially joint production and maintenance of weapons and armed materials. Both leaders also reached a consensus on working closely in education, training, and science technology. Vietnam and Russia issued a joint statement following Prime Minister Win Tanzung's visit to Russia from May 12 to 15. Prime Minister Win Tanzung arrived in Minsk on May 15, beginning a 3-day official visit to Belarus at the invitation of Prime Minister Mikhail Myasnikovic. The visit aims to bolster the two countries' multifaceted cooperation, especially in economics, trade, national defense, security, and education and training. Vietnam and Belarus have enjoyed a time-honored traditional friendship relations and growing wide-ranging cooperation. The two countries' economic and trade ties have experienced a stable growth in two-way trade, reaching $190 million last year. The two nations signed an economic cooperation program for 2013-2015, which has set to increase bilateral trade to $1 billion in the coming years. The Vietnam National Defense television channel will make its debut on May 19th, according to the Ministry of National Defense.
The channel is an official organ of the Central Military Commission, the Ministry of National Defense, and the voice of Vietnamese armed forces and people. It will serve the task of popularizing information on the building of People's Army and the people-based national defense in the new period. Besides news and documentaries, the channel's programs also include movies and sports. The channel is expected to broadcast 18.5 hours a day from 5:30 a.m. to 24 p.m. via the Vietnamese cable television, Saigon Cable Television, Hanoi Cable Television, and Viettel's Internet Protocol Television and mobile television services.
A forum to mark 4 years of bilateral cooperation between Vietnam and Japan in the House Theater kicked off on May 15 in Hanoi. Health Minister Nguyễn Thị Kim Tiến called on the Japanese government to continue to give priority to health cooperation in its policy on official development assistance for Vietnam. Bilateral ties in healthcare started with the project to build Chợ Rẫy Hospital in Ho Chi Minh City using non-refundable aid. The period from 1993 to 2008 saw a series of large-scale non-refundable aid projects to supply medical equipment to hospitals in Hanoi and vaccines to Vietnam's National Expanded Vaccination Program. Major hospitals nationwide have also received Japanese aid to upgrade infrastructure.
In the time to come, Japan International Cooperation Agency and Health Ministry will increase personnel training to improve healthcare services. We will discuss with the Vietnamese government over the official development assistance for Vietnam. We will continue assisting hospitals in equipment and human resource training.
Delegates at the forum discussed priorities for the health sector's development, cooperation orientations with Japan, as well as the investment of Japanese private firms in Vietnam. An exhibition displaying historical documents affirming Vietnam's sovereignty over Hoàng Sa Archipelago has attracted thousands of visitors, including many foreigners. The exhibition opened late last month in the center city of Da Nang. Let's take a look.
The organization board said the exhibition that opened on April 29th has drawn over 3,500 visitors, including 500 foreigners. The event is expected to help foreign visitors understand more about Vietnam's sovereignty over Hoàng Sa Archipelago. On display are documents, maps, and scientific research relating to Trường Sa and Hoàng Sa archipelagos. They include maps published in England, Germany, Australia, Canada, the US, and Hong Kong in the 1626 to 1980 period, which were presented to the Hoàng Sa District People's Committee by Trần Thắng, an overseas Vietnamese in the US. In addition, maps indicating that China's southernmost territory is Hainan Island, while Hoàng Sa and Trường Sa archipelagos are in Vietnam's territorial waters are on display. 3 atlases published by China in 1908, 1919 and 1933 are being exhibited to show that Hoàng Sa and Trường Sa did not historically belong to China.
Ngũ Hành Sơn district in the central city of Da Nang has been chosen to implement a low-carbon model town project of the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation, with a view to expanding it to other localities throughout the country and the world.
Assessment of carbon dioxide emissions in the district will carried out for a report by the end of August on environmentally friendly measures and costing. Measures applied in the Ngũ Hành Sơn district, a common model of a low-carbon town, would be developed and expanded to other districts in the city and eventually worldwide. The 38 square kilometers Ngũ Hành Sơn district is sandwiched between the Han River and the sea, with a population of 55,000. As part of its push to a low-carbon city, Da Nang has proposed battery-powered bikes, technology to curb greenhouse gas emission and use renewable energy resources, a metro system, and rapid bus transit. The city had already cut 12,000 tons of carbon emissions through a pilot project and saved $570,000 between 2008 and 2011.
An area of low pressure is heading for northern Vietnam, creating the first heat wave in the region this summer. In Hanoi, temperatures range between 36 and 39 degrees Celsius, sometimes jumping to 40 degrees Celsius.
Locals are resorting to umbrellas, hats and sun-proof blouses whenever they go out. At Zap Bat bus station, passengers and motorbike taxi drivers carrying umbrellas are everywhere.
I only venture out when I have to start on my own affairs. I wear a mask and sunproof top just enough to cover my body.
The hot and muggy weather also impacts locals' lives and health, especially children, the elderly and those working outdoors. Some of them have fallen ill.
Both children and the elderly get tired in this heat. I haven't dared to hit the trees for many days.
To drive away the hot temperatures, many people rush to buy air conditioners or water vapor fans. I am looking for a vapor fan to ease the dryness in my home. There is a better variety of products to choose from this year, but prices are up 10 to 15%. According to the Central Hydrometeorological Forecasting Center, there will be 7 or 8 hot spells this year, with each lasting 3 to 10 days. Therefore, people should shield themselves from the sun and drink lots of water to stay hydrated.
And that's V News from Hanoi. I'm Bảo Ngọc. Thank you for watching, and see you this time tomorrow.